Welcome back, everybody. I'm here to continue the series on the planets for each ascendant. This is a 86 video series, and we're currently on Capricorn. Those of you who want to catch up on what we've discussed with Capricorn, the previous videos on Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Mercury, I had the opportunity to do with Dustin Cormier, a year 2 astrological apprenticeship student at Asheville Vedic Astrology. And I want to continue on my own here discussing the moon for a Capricorn ascendant. Now, following our general principles, our goal is to understand if the moon was working in its highest capacity, what would that be like? And we're also going to consider if the moon wasn't working so well, what would that be like? And the goal is to understand that while your moon can be placed anywhere, good or bad within the chart, that you do have the capacity to try to cultivate the positive experiences of the moon for the ascendant in question, Capricorn. And by doing that, you help to uplift that moon, work with your karma in a more positive fashion. Now, for a Capricorn ascendant, the moon rules the 7th house. The moon is exalted in the 5th house, and the moon is debilitated in the 11th house. This gives us some insights about how the moon functions for a Capricorn ascendant. Now, this almost creates a very cliched dynamic in that when we have a Capricorn ascendant, that often makes the individual very focused on work, Saturnine qualities. Saturn rules the 1st and the 2nd house. It can take an individual and tend to make them more interested in doing their duty and exhausting their own karmas, fulfilling their dharma, rather than being too interested in, say, relationships. Whereas the relationship portion, the 7th house lord, the moon is interested in finding a way to support the Capricorn ascendant. So the reason I use the word cliche here is because oftentimes we think of relationships having to be, at least in our modern last 20, 30, 40 years, that everyone must be an individual in the relationship. Everyone must take care of everyone else. Everyone must be independent. Essentially, roles have to be equal all the time. With this Capricorn ascendant, the way the moon rules the 7th house and its exaltation in the 5th, it can show that the Capricorn's goals are to do one's duty, to live well, to give one's time and attention to one's work, but then to have a spouse or to have a partner who helps to soothe the Capricorn ascendant, who helps to take care of and nurture the Capricorn ascendant. So having a lunar influence in one's life as a Capricorn is very important. It's going to help to stimulate the 5th house influence of creativity, of a calmer mind, of a greater sense of having a legacy and benefiting the world. It's going to help to mitigate the emotional stress that can be caused due to getting involved or too involved in people's emotions when trying to accomplish a goal. When the moon is debilitated in the 11th house, then really being overly concerned about other people's emotions as one tries to achieve a goal for a Capricorn ascendant tends to derail the Capricorn's capacity to achieve its goals. There's an interesting saying I heard. It was, the cat doesn't really care about the opinions of mice. Well, for a Capricorn ascendant, this tends to apply. The Capricorn is a hard worker. Capricorn has a goal. The Capricorn uses that exalted Martian energy to achieve either creating something great, benefiting one's society, taking care of others, but that requires hard work and that requires sacrifice. The 11th house represents our personal goals, our personal achievements, the things that we really want to do, the things that we really want to, in a sense, be known for. And by having the moon, the 7th lord, debilitated in the 11th, we're going to tend to find that Capricorns who listen to everyone else who says, but you must be more gentle. You must appreciate everyone's emotions and feelings. The Capricorn's not going to really achieve what their soul set out to in this world, or they're going to have a lot of obstacles in that regard. Now, the moon is exalted in the 5th house. The moon is exalted in the 5th house. And that's sounds somewhat contrary. But when you really think about it, when you've been around an individual, what is it about an individual that has typically made you feel emotionally safe and secure? Made you feel emotionally okay? Usually, it's when you've been around someone who is at peace within themselves, at peace inside, who isn't trying to achieve anything, isn't trying to take anything from you, isn't trying to manipulate you, who is strong, settled, has a good foundation. You know what you're getting when you're around them. By having that 7th Lord, moon exalted in the 5th house, it's in the sign of Taurus, which shows us that for a Capricorn ascendant, by simply working on being stable, being reliable, taking care of one's responsibilities, this is the best thing that a Capricorn can do to bring a sense of safety, peace, enjoyment, clarity to a relationship. It's also one of the best things a Capricorn can do to nurture a healthy family life. It's all about focusing on the Capricorn's inner stability, inner capacity to manage resources well. Many times with Capricorn, relationships don't end up being what they are because of romance or fantasy. Oftentimes with Capricorn ascendants, there is a relationship out of companionship, or sharing similar work goals and principles, being able to share a similar idea of how to carry on a legacy. And then in time, hopefully, that develops into something like love. But Capricorn tends to do best in relationships that are more, again, companion-based. Also, I would say practical. People coming together for practical reasons than anything else. So these are some things you can consider in regards to how the moon can function for a Capricorn ascendant. And again, keeping in mind that if you focus on the positive, these positive things that the moon represents, you will tend to be working with the moon better in your chart no matter where it is as a Capricorn ascendant.